So you're looking at your Xero dashboard and thinking, why does my bank balance in Xero not match what is actually in my bank account when I log into my online banking? Well, you're not alone. And if this mismatch is happening, it's a clear red flag that something is off in your Xero. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to spot the warning signs that your Xero account is in a mess so that you can avoid making mistakes that are going to cost you thousands in taxes and hours fixing them if you let them grow any bigger. Hi, I am Ray Armand, a chartered accountant and founder of Root to Growth Accounting Advisory, as well as my new Xero Hero program. And in this channel, I help UK business owners go from confused to confident with Xero Accounting Software so that you can finally feel in control of your numbers and never overpay tax again. So let me ask you, have you ever opened up your Xero bank and thought to yourself, what do these two numbers here mean? We've got the balance in Xero and we've got our statement balance. And then I log into my online banking and there's a completely different balance. So what is happening here? Well, here's the truth. If you manage to get your bank fully reconciled so that there are no more items left to reconcile here. So this was on nil. These two numbers should be equal. That's the first thing to take note. If they are not equal, then there is an issue with your bank feed, the issue with how the information has come in from your bank. However, it might be a bit of a mythical unicorn to think to yourself that you're ever going to get this number down to zero, because as quickly as you reconcile them, more transactions come in the next day. So you might think, you know what, Ray, I'm never going to get that number down to zero. So what's another check I could do? Well, let me tell you that if you log into your online banking and you check the bank balance as of yesterday, because normally the bank feed's about 24 hours behind, it should agree to this statement balance here. Because what these two balances are, this is the bank balance according to Xero records, and the statement balance is your bank balance according to your bank records. So it should agree to your bank records. If you want to be super specific, like you want to know exactly as of what day that is showing, because that could be as of today is the 24th of July as I record this video, and that balance could be showing as of the 23rd of July if your bank feed is a day behind. Every bank is slightly different in terms of the lag that it has with the information coming in, so I can't give you the exact number of hours. So if you want to be more accurate with this, if you jump into your bank account and you go to the bank statements tab, this bank statements tab should be an exact reflection, like an exact copy of what is in your bank statement when you go to your own online banking and log in. So what you can do is you can see up to what date has it pulled transactions. Now, maybe it's only pulled in half of the transactions from the most recent date, the 23rd of July. So you might want to go back one day. And so if we go back to the 22nd of July and we look at the last transaction on that day, and we compare it to the last transaction on the 22nd of July in our bank statement, and both of them should have the exact same number down to the pence or the cent. So it should be 6519.79. If it is not exactly the same, then that is an indication of a difference. And don't fool yourself in thinking that, you know what, it's only a pound off, it can't be that bad. You can't think that, because there could be two massive transactions for like £5,000 each, one 5,000 in, one 5,000 pounds out, which only result in a pound difference, but it's actually so much more than a pound. So the key thing here is that if there is a difference, no matter how small, it needs to be investigated. And remember, I think it's important to note that if this is you, if you come here and there is a difference, don't think, oh, I'm so bad at bookkeeping. What am I doing? You're not bad at bookkeeping. Your Xero is not broken. You've just outgrown how you have been using Xero up to this point. You need to learn some extra tricks, some extra processes and checklists that you need to work through to keep this information neat and tidy. So your Xero isn't broken. You aren't a bad bookkeeper. There's just some extra techniques and checklists that you need to learn to follow. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to ignore the mismatch when it's discovered. Okay, because if you ignore a mismatch, you could end up thinking you have more money in your bank than you do. You could end up forgetting about expenses because they didn't pull into the bank feed. Because as amazing as these live bank feeds are, because they are great and we couldn't do without them, they do glitch. The bank feeds are not 100% reliable. And this isn't a zero level problem. This is actually a problem that comes from the individual banks. Sometimes the data that they push through will result in missed transactions or duplicate transactions. So if there's a difference here, you mustn't just ignore it, because ignoring it could mean that the figures in your Xero are incorrect, which will result in your profits possibly being understated or even inflated, resulting in overpaid tax. And when HMRC comes knocking and they say, your income looks or your profit looks far too low, you can't just say, well, Xero said so. That's not going to cut it. You have to make sure that the underlying numbers are correct. And it doesn't have to be this big, scary exercise. It can be solved by doing a few little checks once a quarter. So one of the checks I recommend to people to do in my Xero Hero program is that I say, go once a quarter and do this bank check. And here are the steps to fix it. I have done a little video on YouTube for those who aren't part of my course who want to get a taste for the sort of fixes that I give people on how to fix a specific issue, and I will link it at the end of this video in the videos that pop up so that you can see how to fix this issue. To give you a real life example that I've experienced, I had a client come to us thinking that they had made £30,000 profit. And it turned out that their Xero bank feed was a mess from months ago. So their bank was fully reconciled, but there was a whole lot of missing transactions and also a couple of duplicate transactions that were resulting in overstated income and understated expenses, right? So that their profit was more than it needed to be, and they were overpaying tax unnecessarily. So by fixing this, we ensured that they were not overpaying tax and that the correct information was being reported to HMRC. And the good news with all of this is that you don't need to become some finance whiz or get an accounting degree. You just need to know what to check and how to spot the early signs that your Xero is going off track. So start by doing this quarterly check of your bank balance compared to what is showing here on this bank statements tab within Xero. And if there is a difference, you need to go investigate and fix it. And once you clean this up, then you will have comfort that the information in your Xero is actually reflecting what has taken place. So that when you go and run your reports in Xero, like your profit and loss report, you can have confidence in your numbers and not be confused by them. And what this will mean is that you are able to make better decisions, avoid overpaying tax, and generally just sleep easier, knowing that your business finances are sorted and that Xero is not secretly misleading you. It's just a few of these checks that you have to do on a regular basis throughout your business. Throughout the cycle of your year, you have to do some checks to ensure that things like this are not going wrong. And hopefully, by showing you this today, you have an idea of one extra thing you can check. If you want more insights into other things you can check in Xero, do hit that subscribe button and like this video so that I know that this message is hitting home. Pop in the comments if you found a mistake in your Xero that you're now going to go investigate. I would love to hear back from you. And if you want to take a deeper dive into properly getting your Xero sorted, then join one of my free live training sessions that I run regularly. If you pop to my Xero profile, you'll see there, if you go to www.rayarmand.com, there you will find a sign up page to join my next free live training session. So to wrap up, if your Xero bank balance doesn't match your real bank, don't panic, but also don't ignore it either. I've given you some simple steps here and then follow-on video that will show you how to go through and fix this issue. And if your bank balance fully agrees to your bank account, and now you're ready to reconcile your bank, and you're sitting and reconciling a transaction, and you identify that one of your customers has actually paid you more than they needed to, and you are now thinking, what do I do with this? So City Limousines, they pay me £100. They didn't need to pay me that. Do I record it as an overpayment or a prepayment? And you wonder, what is the difference between the two? Which one should I be using? And how do I clean up the mess if I've got loads of overpayments and prepayments now sitting in my Xero that I don't know what to do with them? Well, if you want the answer to that, then look out for my next video. And if you don't want to miss it, like I said, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again next week. Cheers.